Hi there, Gina. Soul-inspired reflections coming briefly to you through this beautiful technology we have. And I was doing a little reading from a book called The Hathors by Tom Kenyon. And this particular version, it's also with Virginia Essene, and they go back and forth asking questions and channel information. And the information in this book is so important for those of you, really all of us, whether you recognize you're awakening or ascending or on a spiritual path or not. Learning how to work with your energy system of the body is a practical and I feel necessary tool and component to your wellness and self-management of your energy and your subtle body system and the integration of your I am presence or Christ consciousness or God self, whatever word or term you want to use for it. You're growing, you're evolving. Literally the energy within your body is expanding, oscillating at a faster rate. Your DNA, the genome, it's all changing. We are living evolution right now in a way that we perhaps have forgotten we once were. For those of you that recognize the soul and energy never dies, and we take on embodiment after embodiment. So I'm going to read to you briefly this paragraph I came to when I flipped open this book, and it depicts infinity in that higher point of the spiral in a pyramid here, right? And so notice the base of the pyramid is a square, right? Its foundation, right? A pyramid is a very steady foundational sacred geometry, right? So if you are missing one corner to your foundation, it becomes unstable. So think about the four aspects of our lives, our energies, the primary bodies that people talk about in the aura, the subtle bodies, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. Now here in this book, in this section, they're referencing work, the elements, the body, right? Because the body makes up even the subtle body system, and relationships, okay? Relationships. Those are the four corners, the foundation of the pyramid. And then the spiral ascends up into infinity. So I'll read this section. The spiral of ascension extends upward to infinity, and there is no limit to the heights you can reach. However, the rate of consciousness advancement using those four aspects within the spiral at any given time must be balanced, meaning work, relationships, body, and the elements. Those are the four components they're talking about. And you can break those elements down further for further study. You can just study one aspect for a very long time. So let's say that you wish to move upward in a balanced spiral, okay? A balanced spiral. The majority of us are not in a balanced spiral. We kind of ebb and flow. And then find balance, we plateau, and then we go through it again. Some of us are a little farther along where we can maintain balance much, much easier because you're mastering your skill set. You're mastering your energy. You're stepping further into self-mastery and energy management using the system of your body. So let's say that you wish to move upward in a balanced spiral. How would you do that? By reaching the same level of consciousness and capability in all four areas simultaneously, omitting none of them. If you elevate the ka, which is body, and you elevate your relationships, you elevate your work, and you elevate the elements, then that foundation has moved up and you are in balance. So you move up the spiral to the next level, okay? But if you have developed your ka, meaning body, and moved that up, and you have developed accord with the elements and moved that up, and you have developed your service, but you pay no attention to your relationships, then you have got a mess. And they say, laughing in parentheses. And why is that? The question is asked. Because that should be a balanced plane of stability is tilted dangerously in one sector. Consequently, when the spiral starts to move up, it cannot go any higher because the foundation on that corner of the pyramid is not there. Is not there. It is missing. It is best to elevate all 4 positions of that pyramid so your growth can be stable. So this brings me, there's more to this, and there's an act of surrender through this whole process of growing and ascending. And it brings me to those of you that are attempting to cut cords, or it's an older term. I never cared for that term of cutting cords, because energy's energy. We're part of the oneness of all that is. And truly, we're never not connected to each other. Energy always knows how to communicate. However, even in the neuroscience and in energy, right? Think of like neurons, right? If we continue to feed a specific channel of energy and to put our resource of energy into a relationship that's not really serving your highest good, what happens if you to create a new pattern, you must commit to putting energy into that new pattern. So for instance, if I wanted to cut out drinking coffee and replace it with warm water and lemon in the morning, I must commit to that practice until it becomes like muscle memory, and that's what I do it without even thinking, right? Same thing if I'm learning a skill, it becomes muscle memory. First, you have to bring it into the awareness, there's steps to it, and then consciously choose the action you're moving toward. This process of ascension and elevating your life is no different. So if you're trying and wanting to let go of, it's not even a specific person, it's the way you engage and relate in your relationship to yourself and a trigger that's within you. And that soul shows up for you to work on that. And I'm simplifying it here because it can be complex and multi-layered and multi-dimensional, and many perspectives are held within relationships. But if you are coming into your self-mastery, right now, one of the most important, and I'll say relationships, is the one with yourself. Because again, it's self-mastery. It's ego means the self. So when you are in the highest vision of the self and embodiment, in this case, many of us are integrating, I'll say all of us, whether you know it or not, our Christ consciousness, our Christ Sophia codes, our divine feminine and masculine energies to be in harmonics. And for that, you must look at yourself and your relationships and harmonize them within you and your body and your being. So within that, you must also balance your ka, your body, your 4 lower bodies, your emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual aspects within the aura and within your chakra, your light body, your energetic system. That is one corner. You must elevate the relationships and those that you bring forth into your life, as well as those that perhaps have been discordant. You must harmonize it within your being and keep your heart open. That's how I see it. That doesn't mean you engage and keep unhealthy relationships close to you. Yet your relationship to your experience with that must evolve and harmonize and be brought into the light. The elements of fire, earth, water, air, and ether must too be balanced. These are the aspects of your divine spark and threefold flame as well. It's the fires that you walk within and are your light. Love, divine will, God's will, the God in you, as you're integrating your God self presence. And you do this through the breath, and it all happens simultaneously. But it takes practice and skill. Practice and skill. So I encourage you, to those of you that are letting go of any relationship, whether it's parent, sibling, work, certain types of behavior, and pay attention in the way you are approaching that release. How are you harmonizing it within your being? Are you still expecting something external to occur for you, right? Because you cannot stop someone from their own behavior. You can't control someone else, right? But if you're harboring ill will, if you're harboring all the stuff that you wish you had from that person or being, that energy will limit you from spiraling up fully into the next level that you are at. You must be of pure intent as you walk the way. You must have your heart open in a way that you have forgotten. You must be able to forgive in a way that you are learning and remembering how to be, and hold all in compassion, including yourself. This is a Christ consciousness teaching, to be of compassion and forgiveness. It's not one direction. And to forgive doesn't mean that someone else is going to give you that same forgiveness. So you must learn to reconcile things within yourself, and also bring the forgiveness for you, and allow someone else to come into their own timeline of forgiveness in their way when they're ready. But when you've resolved it within yourself, that energy that once connected you is now dissolved and set free. And because you were no longer holding the illusion of that polarity, right? You need the other point to connect. You have released it from the body, not cut it. You've released it and dissolved it, and then that releases that energetic cord within you through the power of love, forgiveness, and divine will, and illumination. Because now you're bringing a wisdom to your clearing, and recognizing you're setting yourself free into a higher octave of being, and in relationship with yourself, others, and divine consciousness. You're expanding in the ability of consciousness that you are and can come from and can hold within yourself more and more each day, where you just are your presence. You just are the God self within you, because you are becoming that avatar, as some would call it, being, right? You are the God in you. It's already there. So if you're harboring ill will toward others and can't get over really your past, that sits there in it like a seed inside you, and it still will grow. It'll still show its head, because you'll have an emotional trigger toward that person's name when you think about the past, or if you have a similar energy through a different person, just that brings something up for you. That information that comes in through an emotional response and trigger, and even mental, is very telling to you on where in that pyramid, that of Spiral of Ascension, and at the base, the foundation, which corner you need to address. That's all I have for you right now. I'm Gina, Soul Inspired Reflections. Much love to all of you.